RD, we now rise back from recess. Up next, we have the Department of Public Works. Um, Under the governor's proposal, it shows that there is only one division under the Department of Public Works, which is the Operations and Maintenance. However, they do have the Solid Waste Division, but it is inclusive of the other two senatorial districts. And so some of the personnel are listed under solid waste and are being funded through the solid waste revolving funds. Uh, so just for operations and maintenance for the first senatorial district, the department submitted a budget request of 837,553. With the governor's proposed general fund and ARPA of 643,593, that computes a shortfall of 193,960. The department had requested 25 FTEs, but was only approved for 23. And so we just want to find out what the two additional FTEs are for and how those positions will assist the department in providing the services needed here on Rota. As of the current fiscal year, the Public Works was granted the 25 FTEs. And so we just wanted to also find out what happened. What happened to the, what's that? What happened to the two FTEs of in the current fiscal year that is not filled, and then maybe, and that is why the governor is proposing the 23. But before I hand over the floor to the resident director, Rep. Babalta, you needed clarification?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I noticed on the Public Law 22-8, there were 23 positions, and the department is now seeking 25, additional 2. However, on the worksheet itself, there's only 22 employees going into FY23 proposed. So clarification on that, if somebody can
I
clarify.
think, okay.
So there
Okay.
was one vacancy that was never? Okay. We can get into those details when the chairman is done.
Yeah. So under the general fund, we approved for 23 FTEs. The two additional was to be funded under ARPA for a total of 25. I know, or what the what Rep. Abata was mentioning is that under, while there is 23 FTEs, one hasn't, there's one vacancy. Did I get that correct? Yes, trace technician one. And because it's zeroed out, I assumed it's not filled, but maybe the director can explain where that, whether it's currently in the process of being filled or, but I'll leave that up to the director to justify that. And so at this time, I now hand the floor over to the resident director, Mendiola.
Hello. So buenas and half a day, everyone. And welcome to the beautiful island of Rota. My name is Daryl Mendiola, and I'm the current resident director for the Department of Public Works. As you know, the mission of the Rota Department of Public Works is to provide efficient and reliable services by maintaining the public roads and highways, providing solid waste management, ensuring compliant construction and technical services, and meeting the public works needs of the residents and guests of Rota. Mr. Chairman and members of the House Committee on Ways and Means, I have already sent my budget submittal, which all of you should have. As you know, for FY 2023, the budget for Rota DPW has been increased from the previous budget, and although I'm grateful for the increase, I would like to kindly ask for more if possible. Currently, the Rota Department of Public Works is having difficulties in providing public services to the people in the island of Rota. We are lacking the needed equipment and manpower to provide these services to the island, but we try our best. And fulfill the mission of Rota DPW. Again, I just want to welcome you all to the beautiful island of Rota, and I'm here to answer any question that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Mendiola. Sorry, you mentioned that the current proposal is more than what you're given in the current fiscal year?
Yes. So right now we have 22, like what Congresswoman Robotas stated. We have 22 employees right now, and we were supposed to get an employee for the trade tech one position, but we have already processed the application and the position through OPM, but OMB called us and said that there wasn't any funds available for that position. Funds available, but it was only till September. So, and after September, the employee will be no longer with us. So we decided not to go that route.
Well, like all positions, they're only enough for the fiscal year, and so what you're saying is, so now the department has decided to forgo hiring that one trades tech.
Yeah, because just till September, and we'll rather use the funds for equipment or parts or
Okay.
fuel.
Okay. You mentioned equipment. Yeah, the need for equipment. Can you just briefly explain the types of equipment you're looking for and what the cost looks like for those equipments?
We are trying to seek a hydro mower. It's a lawn mower for trees, and our staff really are in need of it, and the cost for that will be probably around 50,000, 50 to 80.
Is this like an attachment to a like an existing?
Yes, yes,
Is this the one like they have on Saipan that
yes.
kind of
Yeah,
clears the shoulder? Okay.
yes,
So those are that will cost around 50,000.
yes.
But do you have the heavy equipment that can?
We do,
Okay.
we do.
So it's
Including
just for the
shipping. Yeah,
attachment.
yeah, including shipping and.
Is that an additional request? Because on your budget submission, you listed 10,000 for machinery.
Yeah, that's an additional request. Chairman.
Okay. Aside from what you submitted
Yes.
initially. Okay. Now I noticed that your fuel expense or the fuel that you are asking for is 40,000. Um, so that's roughly 3,000 a month. Is that sufficient for the operations? Is this
Yes.
separate from what you would need under solid waste, or this is just
This
for
is included.
all?
Yeah, for all.
Okay, and that's your average usage a month currently?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. One of the things that I wanted to bring up, and this was something that we heard from Tinian, DPW, is the solid waste and wanting to transfer the authority to the municipalities. Are you having any issues in regards to funding solid waste, whether it be personnel or the operational costs under solid waste?
No, we have no issue at all. Our Saipan counterparts are very supportive, and all we ask for the solid waste personnel is hazard pay, and I think all our guys, they haven't been paid for since I believe 3 years now.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
but they've been paid recently for
Yeah.
2018 and 19, but haven't yet for 2000.
From what I was told, Tinian and Saipan are already up to date in regards to the latest quarter they paid out. Rota hasn't been paid out for the first quarter of the current fiscal year.
Okay.
I don't know if it's routing or do you know if your office already submitted the request for hazardous pay for the first quarter of this
Yes,
fiscal
I
year?
believe they have.
Okay.
Um,
So it's just getting the papers routed and trying to get
Yeah.
them paid. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Because so I know Rota is compared to the other two districts, Rota is behind on one
One.
quarter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my mistake.
Yeah. But we'll assist in trying to follow up on trying to get that paid out. Another thing that I wanted to ask, and again, this was proposed by Tinian. They sometimes operate on holidays, and is that the case here?
We do 24/7 whenever the landfill needs work.
So sometimes the employees would come in on
Yes.
holidays, but
And we could.
how would they be paid additional if they come in on holidays?
No, just unfortunately not.
Okay. Do you currently have MOUs?
Yes, we have 5.
Okay. And one last question before I hand it off to the members. The 2 additional FTs that you originally proposed, do you know what positions those are?
It's the trade stack 2, heavy equipment operator 4.
And this was the one that wasn't included in the governor's proposal, correct? Okay.
Correct.
Thank you, RD. At this time, I hand over the floor to the members. Thank you. We have one. Sorry. Before I recognize, I'd like to welcome the presence of the representative from Tinian, Representative Patrick San Nicolas. With that, I recognize Representative Selena Babalta.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, RD Mendiola. Uh, where are the 5 MOUs detailed to or assigned to?
We
Which
got
division?
we got two for the shop, the mechanic shop.
Mechanic shop?
Yes, one for the TSD division.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, three for the mechanic shop.
3.
One for the TSD position, and admin for the last one.
What's TSD?
The technical service division.
Okay. If we were to approve your budget today,
Oh,
you said it exceeds your request.
yeah. Thank you.
So I guess your department is all good?
Yeah, we were okay. I mean,
We're 100%. No,
we would like to get equipment, but
the equipment
yeah,
is
but other
important.
than that, we managed.
How much overage, in terms of your budget? How much was the overage?
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We are short. I'm sorry. Can you repeat your question?
You said, the budget you received in 2022 is actually over what you were asking? Did I not understand that correctly? What was over? You mentioned that there was an overage of
Over.
your budget in terms of what was approved previously.
Oh no, sorry.
No?
I think I.
So it's
missed,
short.
It's I think right on the dot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You requested 20,000 for travel.
Yes.
Would you like to
Yeah. So
describe what kind of travel you're looking for?
I think a lot
Where
of our.
to?
Sorry.
Where
Uh,
to and what types of to justify the $20,000 in travel request?
So I think a lot of our guys here they lack the training and certificates.
Okay,
So
that's important.
yeah, and I think it's crucial if they go and off island and experience that.
Not only experience it, but I think it's important when you're operating for the solid waste, especially the heavy equipment. Certifications are needed for that. This travel, would it be to Saipan or off island?
Wherever it's necessary, wherever they has the training available.
Okay. And as far as your personnel, everything looks to be on track with
Yes. Mhm.
the needs of the department.
Maybe WGI. So salary increase.
WGIs.
Yeah.
When was the last time? It's supposed to be yearly.
Yeah. So like since we've got some WGIs last year, but I think it hasn't been like up to date. Some of the guys been working like 20 plus years already, and I think
Wow.
the salary's still on the
I agree.
minimum.
Your salaries are barely above the minimum wage.
I know. So that's
And I see an equipment operator 4 being paid 13,966, but that's only 80%. The other 20% is covered by ARPA, which is really not much more.
I know. So
Um, so WGI, if we were to approve your budget today, which we can't, I don't want to give you a can't.
Oh.
I don't want to give you false hope, but if we were to approve your budget today, what is your the top three on your wish list?
Maybe the salary increase, the WGI, hazard pay, and the equipment.
And as far as the vehicles for your department, everything is okay in good
Yeah.
order?
Good order. We got good mechanics.
We don't have any 30-year-old vehicles in your department
No.
like the other.
No, we're good.
Do you have any Teslas?
Soon.
Okay, we'll take these into consideration, and I do agree that the salaries your staff have been receiving, at least the heavy equipment operators, are really, really barely above
know.
the minimum wage. So
know.
we will take that into consideration. And I also agree that heavy equipment is important in your line of work and the certification process for it. Having said that, I will yield, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I recognize Representative St. Nicholas.
Good afternoon, Director. Thank you for coming. I'm
Yes, thank you.
just curious because you said the one of your division is under your department is the Technical Services Division.
Yes.
I'm very curious. What are the
The services.
objectives there? And
Uh,
because we don't, I believe we don't have that in our department back in Tinian. So I'm
Really?
very curious. Could you enlighten me more about this?
So we provide technical services, mainly in the construction building aspects, and federal highway, the federal coverts, um, and engineering. Our MOU too is one of the MOUs, engineer. So
So
he's with the TSD.
okay, so you call you call this division TSG
Yes.
under your department, but in Tinian, I think it's
Is it the
basically a building inspector and
building?
highway.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Building inspectors.
yeah. So I really want to thank you for that. For
Thank you, Chief.
letting us know about this division. I'm very surprised, actually. Anyways, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Are you, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, Rep. St. Nicholas. I recognize the Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and welcome again, RD. Can we go back to the machinery, tools, and equipment for 10K? So I understand that you're requesting for an additional 50 to 80K for the accessory,
Yeah.
right? But what is the 10K for?
For equipment, tools, like the specific.
Mhm.
Um, our um, our slusher, the one that has the rotary part of the slusher, our whole back deck is needs to be replaced. And
How much does something like that cost?
probably 5,000.
Okay. Anything else under equipment?
And we are looking to get a service, um, like service tools and whatnot.
Okay. You had mentioned that one of your wish lists would be hazardous pay. How many employees are you looking at? Yeah,
7.
about 7. Okay. And do you have an idea as to what rate the hazardous pay would be?
I'm sorry, I'm not too sure about the rate, but
5%.
5%.
5%. Okay. You had also mentioned that the employees don't get holiday pay or when they come in on the weekends. Are these employees exempt or non-exempt employees?
Well, did they get come time? In-house come time?
Okay. Have you checked with the Department of Labor to ensure that there are no labor laws being violated, especially if these are non-exempt employees?
No, I haven't, but I'll certainly do after
Please
this.
do.
Yep.
We want to make sure that we avoid any potential legal issues, with regards to non-exempt employees working after 40 hours and also coming in on the weekends or holidays and not getting paid. So
Okay.
please make sure to
All right.
double check with Department of Labor.
We will.
That's it for me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I recognize Rep. Lizama.
Thank you, Chairman and Mr. Mendiola.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I'm just curious. We're pretty much ignored the equipment operators.
Yep.
Are they certified? Do you have anyone on island, or do you send them off to Saipan to be certified? And they have to go to numbers of hours of training. And I was a CDL driver back in the States. I would not drive a vehicle, either a bus, truck, if I know that vehicle is not safe for me to drive. You have to look at them as an important people.
Yeah.
They can come up to you, even if the mechanic says the vehicle is good, but the operator determines that that vehicle is not ready. So please try to stay on top of the operators because they are also an important people. But do you have them trained?
Well, that's our goal for this coming year, and we are trying to get that funds for that training, necessary training. Yeah, I believe that they're very important too, and they are the backbone and the muscle for department, and without them, I don't know what we're gonna do. But yes, I really want to get them the training, the right certifications, and help them for Island.
And you have to agree that when you have them trained and they have that ownership, I'm pretty sure that probably the equipment failure will decrease because that good driver
Yeah.
take care of that equipment. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, Rep. Lizama. Anyone else? RD Mendiola, you rent out your equipment, yes?
I'm sorry.
You rent out your equipment?
Yes.
Do you keep any of these funds? Do you have any revolving fund accounts other than the solid waste?
No. We have the TSD revolving account.
And that's where the
Um,
funds are deposited into?
No, that's just for the business license.
The TSD is for the business
Yeah,
license?
business license inspector. But other than that, for the equipment rental, it's deposited to the Department of Finance.
The general fund?
Yeah.
So you don't get a percentage of those fees?
No.
And so any repairs would have to just come out of your operational budget?
Yes.
Okay. Members, any other questions? I recognize Rep. Babalta for the second round.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. RD Mendiola, how many employees are you looking at for certification? Who need certification?
11.
And which ones are they?
They are the roads and grounds crew, the equipment operators,
Okay, that's,
and there's the supervisors as well.
why would the roads and grounds be certified or need certification?
They are the operators for DPW, the equipment operator.
Equipment operator.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
The division is the roads and grounds division.
okay. 11 positions are needed. Are they certified at this time? Is it, are you seeking travel funds to get their recertification or certification?
I'm sorry.
Initial certification.
Um, um, we're gonna probably need 19 for that certification. I forgot about our
19.
solid waste guys, but
Uh-huh. So 19 need certification.
Yeah,
So they've never been certified before.
I believe not.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I recognize the vice chair.
Thank you, Chair. Going back to, so your fuel, you're asking $40,000. That's double compared to your FY '21 usage. Any basis or justification for that much increase?
Um, right now because I was in FY 2021, so we've been doing a lot of usage now with the equipment. Right now we're working with our roads. We really, if you go around the island, we've been doing a lot of road repairs. We also, with our landfill, we are also really working on that, and also with other government projects that needs our services, and also the like community if they wanted to rent our equipment. So a lot of the equipment usage has gone way up since 2021, I believe.
Did your number of equipment and/or vehicles increase as well?
Yes.
Okay, so that
That
kind of
too, yeah.
explains the the increase. What about for your supplies under your operations? You're only requesting 9,000, which is half of what you spent in 2021. Are- So in 2021, you spent about 18,000, but you're only asking for 9,000. For the,
18,000 for 2021,
yeah.
and that's supplies, right?
Yeah, supplies operations. So I guess the concern is 9,000 enough to sustain your operations since you spent uh, 18,000 in 2021?
Yes, that should be enough
That should
because we
be-
also tap into the TSD account as well, and that helps too.
Okay. And then lastly is your repairs and maintenance. You're only requesting $5,000, but you spent about 28,000 in 2021. So,
Yeah, so again, we also try and use the solid waste account for that too.
okay, great. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, vice chair. We'll take one more. If there are any other members that would like to. Okay. If none, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Director Mendiola, for coming in today as well as answering the questions that the members have. If there's a significant change to the budget come July 1st, when we expect the revised budget submission, we'll reach out to your office. But also, if there's anything that wasn't mentioned today that you feel the committee should deliberate on as we work on the budget, please feel free to reach out to any of the members that you see here in the committee. And so at this time, again, thank you for your time today, Director Mendiola, and you are now excused.
No, thank you all too for your time, and see you guys soon.
Thank you. At this time, we'll take a 5-minute recess to allow the next agency to set up. Short recess.
Thank you guys.
time we'll proceed. I know there are several members that will be flying out in a little bit. We now rise back from recess. Up next, we have the Department of Public Safety. They've submitted a budget request of 2.8 million. With the governor's proposal of the general fund and ARPA of 1.4 million, it computes a shortfall of 1.3 million. And that would make up the bulk of its operations. The department had also requested for 57 FTEs, in which they were proposed. The governor had proposed the same 57. However, based on the personnel worksheet, there are 46 positions that are currently filled. The 11 positions are vacant and unfunded, but I'm not sure. Maybe we can hear from the director if these positions have been filled to date or what the plans are with those vacant positions. And so at this time, I will hand the floor over to the resident director, Maritita, to provide any remarks in regards to the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for doing a brief statement about the differences between the department's proposal versus the governor's proposal, and it actually represents about if I'm not mistaken, a little over 50% of that reduction of that cost. So I guess the question before me, at least, is if under operation, if the governor decides to zero public safeties or others, then I guess the question would be, how would the department deliver these critical services to the municipality of Rota? But then I'd just like to share a little bit about the proposal that the governor made, because it's significant and I do want to put it on record. Personnel alone, the governor's proposal cut our department by at least 900 some thousand. That is very significant. And that includes overtime pay, salary, holiday pay, and a bunch of other things. But then again, we have yet to see what the revised submission will be on July 1st. And I hope, and I'm crossing my finger, that it would at least make a change on that revised budget. But then again, be as it may, that's where we stand today. The only thing that I would like to respectfully request from this August body is at least to restore what was given to public safety on our current budget for operation, which is somewhere around 200 plus thousand. As far as the vacancy positions is concerned, that has been zeroed. I am more than happy to share with this committee that we are actually on the work. And as I speak today, at least, I know that the RFPA for promotions for nearly half of these police officers is now with, I believe, with the governor. So pending signature from the governor, it remains as is today with what we have. Other than that, Mr. Chair and members, I stand ready to answer any question that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Maritita. The For your operations, I know you listed a request. One of your biggest expenditures, it looks like fuel would be on the top of the list. What's your current usage, monthly usage this fiscal year?
Okay, so we normally spend around a minimum of $5,000 monthly. Uh, I just want to share with the committee that we have at least 16 vehicles in operation at the moment. That covers every section of the department and to include a vessel. So to sum it up, we spend at a minimum of at least 60,000 per year, but that number varies depending on what the operation is. And just to share with the committee, and I'm pretty sure that everybody is familiar, that with public safety in itself, we never close doors. So those expenditures really is dependent upon what types of activity or unforeseen circumstances that may arise. So it varies on that area.
Also, what I wanted to bring up is that when we were attending, the newly appointed director mentioned that they were receiving a K9. Is Rota also getting one from Saipan?
Absolutely.
And you have the facility to house the K9?
100%.
So you don't need any additional funds in order to build one or continue to, or I guess what will be the additional cost to the department if you were to have that K9?
I don't see the need at the moment, Mr. Chair. We took care of it when we had the renovation project going on our operation building. We included that, so it's pretty much taken care of.
Okay. And so earlier you mentioned that your primary focus is to, I guess, for promotion, right, to more than half of your workforce. And so the 11 vacant positions, you are not currently trying to fill those.
I do, but because of the promotion that's happening, there is going to be some changes as far as titles. Let's say, for instance, I have PO1s that are going to be promoted to PO2s. So they carry that positions to where they're going to be at. I know that on the vacancies we do have higher positions such as sergeant and director of police that I intend to fill as well. So yes, that could be the case as we speak today.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, RD Martita. I open the floor to the members. I recognize the vice chair.
Thank you, Chair, and welcome, Mr. Maritita. I'm curious to understand under wages and salaries, it looks like the number of FTEs in FY 2021 and 2022 remain the same, and you're asking for the same number of FTE in 2023, yet there's a huge increase of about $713,000 in wages and salaries. So would you mind sharing with us how?
Give me a second,
Okay.
Vice Chair. I know I had that discussion with my administrative officer, but can you please rephrase the question?
So if the number of FTEs didn't change from 2021, 2022, and 2023, right now you guys are at 57 number of positions. There's a significant increase in salaries and wages of about 713,456 in salaries. Are these because of salary increases or bonuses, or what's attributing to that increase?
It has to, because of the promotion at hand that we're trying to fulfill. It could be the reason to commensurate that figure, but again, I can get back to you with more details as far as that is concerned. Thank you for the question,
No problem.
Vice Chair.
Thank you. Also, under personnel, you have an overtime request for about $100,000. In FY 2021, your actuals were at 33,000. So again, like what's driving those increases?
When we had the pandemic at hand, personally, I think it was a pinnacle moment for public safety because we were caught off guard. Source of funding to address those kind of concerns was very, very limited. We had to consult with the mayor, our delegation, and of course, the folks up at the Hill to see how we can address this situation. We were very fortunate that Homeland and the task force were able to provide us with those necessary funding. So we, or at least myself, I would think that if we put this in place, it would be unnecessarily one of those questions that may come in the future. And then again, Madam Vice Chair, we are being very conservative at the moment. So whatever we utilize or use for that specific purpose, and what we don't use, we realize that it would eventually go back to the general fund. So in other words, better to be safe than sorry. Thank you.
So you would consider the increase in about 67,000 to be a contingency fund, just in case something happens. You guys are able to have some sort of funding to accommodate.
For lack of a
Basically.
better word, yes.
Okay. Also, under the same category personnel, your personnel insurance for FY 2021 was $7,420, and you are requesting $102,000 for 2023.
I'll get back with you on that,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
No problem. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Any other members? Recognize Rep. Sablon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, RD Maritita, for your presentation. I was wondering if you could provide us with any Rota DPS statistics in terms of number of arrests in the last fiscal year, number of citations. Could you give us an idea of, what are the major activities of DPS Rota that is keeping your officers busy here?
So criminal activity, perhaps the most significant cases that we receive as far as criminal is concerned is crimes against person. And we do have a significant number as far as crime versus property. Now, whatever that is filed with the court, I would be more than happy to provide you with those data. But then again, because of the sensitivity of these types of information, I would rather that I put it down in black and white and submit it to your office or to this office body.
Okay, crimes against persons like assaults, like those types of crimes, or you mean like property crimes against?
Property crimes is actually a separate
Okay.
types of crimes, but crime versus person also deals with aggravated assault and battery, domestic violence, those kind of cases in nature. Yeah.
Okay. And then I also had a question about whether or how much training opportunities are available to your officers here. So, I know that has there been any domestic violence or disability awareness training for DPS Rota?
Domestic violence, juvenile cases, and juvenile matters for that matter, we do offer our personnel those types of opportunity whenever we have the Attorney General or AAG for that matter on island. We try to consult with them and see if they can make arrangement to provide those types of training. And again, it kind of went on a snail pace because of the pandemic.
Okay.
But as we speak today, in fact, I have a number of requests for trainings in those particular areas on my desk that is being reviewed. And certainly, I would send my guys for to avail themselves with that opportunity.
Okay, so you primarily would have to send them to Saipan for the training, or a trainer will come here?
We send them out if we have the
Okay.
necessary funding.
I see. Okay, and I think that might be it for my questions, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, if you could, I would be curious about the crime rate here in Rota. I did look at the DPS citizen-centric report, but it's all consolidated data for all 3 islands, and I think it'd be interesting to see how it breaks down for Rota and Tinian, just for comparison. Thank you, RD, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So in brief, criminal and traffic cases significantly dropped, like I said, upon this pandemic situation, where we were mandated to observe those directives that came from the executive. So it significantly dropped. But I'm more than happy to provide you with the data.
Thank you, Rep. Sablan. I recognize Rep. Lizama.
Thank you, Chairman. Resident Director, Mr. Maritita, you have 57 people here. How many of them were deputized?
I have 47 active on my roster, minus 6 support staff, so that makes it 41.
Okay. And you have your, well, how do we certify each officer, and how often do you do?
We keep up with the mandate, so we do this every year.
Every year?
Every year.
And you do it here in Rota, or you send him off to?
In Rota. And if I may, for example, firearms, we do give them that certification annually. Handcuffing, extendable baton, OC spray, and those things, it's just a matter of refresher course. Firearms is a mandatory that you must qualify, requalify, recertify.
Do you have one trainer on island and conduct regular training? Like you may have a training room in your department that they will conduct this training?
We are working on that, but at the moment we normally use the facility up at Northern Marianas College. It's a bigger space to accommodate little over 40 people. So yes.
Yes, maybe that's the additional budget that you're getting can be used for that matter.
Could be.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And you back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Rep. Lizama. I recognize Rep. Selena Ball.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. No. Buenas tardes. RD.
Buenas tardes.
¿Cuánto na MOU guagi DPS Rota?
Guaja 2 ginini Mayor's Office na MOU.
Mon division ni Mangaya.
Gagi pagod administrative support. Kumu support staff ga administrative no office.
Konto na division ga ginigi sa luta under DPS.
Patrol traffic, criminal investigation, school resource officer, boarding safety, motor vehicle. 6 size.
Then un mentioned earlier 16 na vehicle squads and uno na bote, no?
Hanggan.
Boarding safety. Um, do they go out every day to patrol? Pati git sa sunya sa boarding safety no pufanlili ko ginigiri sa gyalom honum gitasi no pormatseki coastline ko tawza criminal na aktibidad per afa. How often does boarding safety go out?
For enforcement effort, di gizaza no inafanuzong depende gi hafa na klase ng aktibidad masusese di luta. I-employ ang gingwaha derby. Ejige na uuzong para ben na siguro na mang compliant the regulation. Pag the effort este para ta enforce i boarding activity no mimigay niya na biyay na matsotsogi through i shoreline. Zanging wa reported no distress, ejige na activate. For the most part, wa naman uzong loki para umatsogi niya routing no dives ya. But
Okay.
manono para izo niya no primary or izileleng niya no frequent siya na lugar na easy to accessible through by means of careta per offer the trail. We normally send them to those areas just
Okay.
to make certain there's no
Kwanto na distress calls ki sakkan i boarding safety response again or overdue swimmer or overdue vessel.
due to sulimagariano no madam no number lo sinya by tugi papa the
Gaha 5 gi sakkan
sinya
ba?
bunti mas
Mas.
bunti ken. Yeah.
Is there a drug problem here in Rota? In terms of statistics that you keep? Do you keep statistics of operations involving, let's say, investigations of drugs or dealing niya bayang bus or whatever? Ginanizo mo CID?
Bayang bus, Gefasan, lo, we are faced with two types of drug situation in Rhode Island. One mainly is the marijuana issue, and the other one is the methamphetamine.
Okay.
Everything that happens here, Madam Chair, is also in collaboration with the task force. So normally we get
Afana task
intelligence,
force.
Hmm?
Afana task force.
the drug enforcement task force.
Loco, ano?
Local.
Na-
Yeah.
Is there any collaboration with Saipan or?
Collaboration with
Okay.
Saipan.
Marijuana, that's interesting. Recreational and medicinal marijuana is now legal in the CNMI. In what situation? And the chief prosecutor in Saipan recently came out in the papers that they will not particularly go after. At this point, it's not a priority for them. It's not that they won't prosecute, but it's a low priority because of the passage of the marijuana law. So what is the issue in terms of marijuana? Gwinigiza luta.
It is something that's poking us in the eye when it comes to juvenile.
Oh, okay. So
You know,
juvenile,
juvenile in possession of those
delinquency
kind of
or-
things. So that's
Okay,
one
possession.
thing that's poking us in the eye. Hopefully, it's not going to give us a black eye because of the opinion of the AG. But then again, we respect the process and we'll wait.
Well, juvenile possession is not legal, even though medicinal or recreational usage of marijuana or cannabis is legal. Juvenile possession is not. So I get that. I was just wondering. In fact, the chairwoman of the Cannabis Commission sits on this panel. So.
Oh,
I
con
yield for
respecto.
now, Mr. Chairman.
Con respecto, Chair. Mm.
Thank you. Any other members? Recognize Rep. Yanktama.
You know, I think despite all the trainings and us calling ourselves island warriors, I think the police officers going through these things, get traumatized, some of them, no? How do you handle that? Do you have like a counselor to talk to them, or you send them off island somewhere?
As much as possible, we do. So we try to maximize our resources at hand. We have some nonprofit organizations that provide those services. So whenever the situation arises, we would consult with them and refer our officers to them, and they'll take it from there.
I yield.
Thank you, Rep. Yanktama. Any other members? Before we dismiss RD Martita, can you just list, aside from personnel, in regards to operations, if you can list the top 3 categories in which would be of the most importance to the department?
For the sake of morale, I would say training. And of course, training comes with funding and travel. Fuel and repair and maintenance, very important.
The 16 vehicles that you have, all of those 16 are operational?
Operational, correct.
Okay. Any other members? I guess, sorry, just one last question. So based on the current FTEs, is the current staffing pattern sufficient for the municipality, or are you looking at the possibility of even trying to get more, have another cycle, or I mean, just to plan ahead, and to see if
Mr. Chairman, if we can occupy that 10 vacancy, we will be sufficient as far as enforcement is concerned. We're trying to maximize, like I said, there will be other areas of concern within the department to transfer manpower, such as the school resource officers and, of course, the boating safety, which requires specialized trained individuals in that area. So it will be a blessing for us if we continue to keep those 10 figures with, of course, a dollar figure in it. Will be wonderful.
Okay. Thank you for
And if I may, Mr. Chairman,
sure.
just to put it on record, thank you from the local appropriation that you made, giving us an additional vehicle. So that will make it 17 Scissors Mossy.
Thank you. All right, members. With that, we'd like to take the opportunity to thank you, Director Maritita, for coming in today and answering questions that the committees may have. As stated in prior meetings with the departments, if there's any significant changes by July 1st, we'll reach out to your department. But in the interim, if you have any additional requests that wasn't discussed today, please feel free to reach out to any of the members in the committee. And so with that, we'd like to thank you for coming in today. And you are excused, and we'll take a short minute recess to allow the last agency to get settled.
Thank you for the opportunity, and again, empty your wallets.
All right, short recess. back from recess, and last on our list is the Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Service. They submitted a budget request of 1.5 million, and based on the combined submission of the ARPA and General Fund, the governor proposed a 1,057,000 budget, which computes a 478,000 shortfall. The department had also requested for 33 positions, but 27 was proposed, and so there's a shortage of 6 FTEs. I did submit a request from the department, which I forwarded to the members just a few minutes ago, just to convert the several positions from a cadet to a firefighter position. And before us, we have Chief Ron Ogle and Admin Specialist Ms. Larilyn Atelig before the committee. And so at this time, I'd like to hand over the floor to DFEMS to provide their remarks.
So good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Chairman Donald, Vice Chair Corina, and honorable members, welcome. So our deputy is not here right now, so on behalf of, he extends his apologies not being here. So right now, current defense, we have 23 sworn firefighters, 4 administrative personnel, and 4 fire cadet MOUs. Herewith is we have our revolving accounts for defense. The ambulance account, they just recently released 12,499 from defense stipend. So prevention account is currently zero as of now. Travis Cobo is working on it, so probably in a few weeks or so, he will give us the balance for building code account, the prevention. So that's our revolving fund so far now. You guys have any honorable? You have any questions for me? You would like to ask?
Thank you, Chief Ogle. You mentioned there are 4 MOUs. These would be the fire cadets?
Yes, sir.
4.
Yes.
The request that I received was listed 5.
Yes. I will explain the one. Actually, the one is trying to move over to Rota. They are recently graduate.
Oh, they're under the stipend?
Yes.
Account.
Yes.
So we would need to reduce stipends FT by 1 to
Yes.
transfer over to
Yes.
Rota. And then the 4, we would need to reduce mayor's office by 4
Yes.
to transfer them over to defense. Okay. Do you have the figure as to how much those 5 firefighter would they be making the same as the current firefighters that are firefighter 1s that are funded under the department?
Actually, the you were talking about the current firefighters that were, or you were referring to the cadets?
The cadets, how much would they How much would the cost be for the 5 cadets?
For the cadets, I know it's, if I'm correct, it's the figure I will, but the cadet salary is about 16,000 per annum right now. That's the cadet salary with the figure of 4.
Okay, so they would be similar to,
Probably the figure is about 87,000 or the 4 cadets.
it would be, no, but it will be 5, right? If
Yes,
we bring the
yes.
stipend over.
Yes, yes.
Um, the 5 cadets, I'm assuming, so the 5 cadets, I noticed that under your firefighter ones, there are different levels of pay. So this would be the step 1 for the 5.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's different because probably on when the
length of
WGIs
service,
and
yeah. Okay.
the anniversary lands on which
Okay. Are you anticipating any promotion for the different firefighter positions? Like, how many firefighter ones are you anticipating to promote to firefighter 2s, and 2 to 3, and 3 to the next level?
okay, we're looking like 5 firefighter wants to be promoted. And
To firefighter 2, right?
and yes, 2 firefighter 2s. And I think the rest is we did do a promotion on
So the rest can stay where it's
Yes,
at because
yes.
they've already been promoted. Okay. It looks like the largest expense based on your submission would be fuel. What is the current average monthly usage of fuel?
the current right now. We're in a peak where it's dry season, so the peak would go up because we do respond to forest fire. So that's what is picking up the fuel when we do respond. Sometimes 3-4 times in a day. So in a month, probably we'll be burning probably like 5,000, depending on our runs, on how severe is where we're responding to the fire.
Okay. And earlier you mentioned under your ambulance revolving fund account, 12,499 was transferred from Saipan's ambulance account
Yes, yes,
into Rota's revolving fund for ambulance.
yes, correct.
What would that 12, how do you use that 12,000, or how would you use that 12,000?
For that 12,000, we prioritize everything that we use fuel and trainings, emergency medical supplies, and also I mentioned training. We have to get the guys up to depends how many personnel we need to certify or recertify on the hours on the ambulance. They need to get that maybe about 120 hours in Saipan. Like it's an OGT, and they need to finish up. After that, think the EMS office certifies that they can respond to any emergency or medical from ambulance.
Now, you mentioned training, but I don't see on the proposal for a training budget. Um, if you were to include that, I only see a travel budget request of 5,000, but what would your training cost be for next fiscal year?
Um, right now, I cannot give you the, but I will get back if
Okay. And okay, so it looks like your biggest expense would be fuel, travel, and training. Yeah, if you can prepare that figure, we can try to, when we deliberate, we'll consider your request, but pending the figure amount, if you, you can submit that to the committee and then we can include it as part of the request if you don't have that figure now. At this time, I would like to open the floor to the members, and I recognize Rep. Babalta.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Mr. Ogle, Chief Ogle. In your FY20, the current fiscal year, you have 23
yes, ma'am.
sworn, or what is it, firefighters, right?
Yes, yes.
And then for FY23, you are requesting 33, an additional 10. What would cause the significant request for additional 10? Four perhaps is to accommodate the MOUs, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Or
yes.
5, is that correct?
Five, yes.
So so you're asking an additional 5
Yes, yes.
on top of that. Is that in anticipation of another fire academy, or
Yes, correct. You're correct.
do you know
ma'am.
when the next academy, fire academy?
I will get the exact date on when they're gonna start the fire.
Is there one
academy.
in the planning? I mean,
Yes,
currently?
yes, we do have.
Okay. And how long typically is a fire academy?
Takes probably like 6 months.
Okay. How many fire, you mentioned about 4 or 5 times a month because it's dry season,
Yes.
or no, per week, is that correct? Or per day? Responses to forest fires? How
Yes.
many typically do you respond, does the defense Rota respond to in a year? Or if it's easier, maybe a month or a week?
Probably in a month I can give you like 12, but the size of the burning when you respond to forest fire, it's in a big acres that it burns and takes like probably 12 hours or more.
Depending on the size of the fire.
Yes.
How many emergency responses does defense respond to? The ambulance, how many emergency runs do they
Oh.
make in a month?
Roughly, probably like I'm looking like 15. It depends on what kind of because in a week sometimes you get like 9. That's we're not expecting like 9, but we do respond like sometimes on that day 4, or in a week 12. It could pick up at any.
Yeah, it varies.
Yes,
Emergencies
yes.
happen to spontaneously rain. Um, what other missions does DFEMS respond to?
We do the respond to hazmat and we do search and rescue.
Do you have a SARU unit here?
Yes, we do. Right now, when works where we are availing to NMHC grants to get jet ski and ATVs, and of course the scuba diving gears. Also, we're requesting one boat. It's in the works that we already submitted. We did some the last, but they disapproved. But we did resubmit again this year.
Okay. How many hazmat emergencies do you respond to or calls for hazmat containment?
It depends on what kind of we do, but a year it's like probably 4 or 5.
Okay.
So we do go out and do a public education on all the businesses, how to prevent those and check their area if there is leaking on the LPG. We do go out and do a public education as well as prevention.
How many ambulances are here in Rota?
We have 3 ambulances.
And they're all in good conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
So there's no need to get a new one? Is that correct?
We could a request for another ambulance.
How many fire trucks are here?
Right now we have one fire truck, which is the 1,000 pumper truck.
And that is sufficient to respond to at least 12 forest fire or responses?
Actually, what's that structure fire truck that it's only built for buildings.
The fire truck you have
Yes,
now?
but in case on a residential, we do take out and assist the farm areas. But and we're saying that we did again request for through grants office the forestry truck.
And last question. If we were to approve your budget today, what is the top 3 on your wish list?
Right now, it's training, fuel, and repair and maintenance.
Thank you. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chair Mabalta. Chief Ogo, based on your current staffing, are you incurring overtime?
Yes, we do. But at right now, yes, we do have on, especially on dry seasons right now. Yes, we do.
But off season,
Off season,
You still-
yes, we do have because in case if there's an emergency out in the water or land, or we do search and rescue. Yes, of course, we do during off season of the fire.
now the station, is it Station 9, Operation Apollo?
Yes,
At 9?
Station 8.
8?
Yes,
Are there plans to make that fully functional in regards to responding from Station 8 as well as housing the necessary emergency vehicles
Yes,
and
right now
personnel?
it's in the works where they're gonna break off the and do a bay up here so we can housing all our equipments that are gonna be stationed up here.
So once you've erect the bay to house these vehicles, in regards to personnel, will you have enough to operate both 8 and 9, right? The village?
Uh,
8
yes, we do.
will have. Okay. And as far as revolving fund, like the fire inspection, the does defense get a portion of those fees?
Yes, we do. We do get, but right now it's zero. We haven't seen any, so we're talking to finance in Saipan to follow up and try and get that balance on our account so we can also tap on that for our fuel and trainings and other medical.
Do you know if
needs.
defense is supposed to receive 100% of those fees?
The revolving?
Yeah, for
Yes,
building code inspection.
yes,
So you're supposed to
yes.
receive 100%, but you haven't used that because there haven't been any funds that were transferred into that account.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other member? And one last one, if there's no one else, should there be I know you mentioned a possible academy, which you will get back to the members. How many cadets or how many more firefighters is the department looking for in order to meet the needs of the department?
Yeah, total. So on that part, NFPA standards is really we're trying to meet up with the standards. So we're trying to get at least recruit again fire cadets, but right now we have 4 or 5.
Not the MOU. Would be 5 new cadets that.
Correction, that's the 4. Yeah. 4 cadets right now.
But these cadets are not the ones that just graduated.
No.
This
no.
would be a new
This one
new
will
cycle.
be the new cycle.
Okay. Okay, members, if there's none, I think that we did get down one of the most crucial needs in regards to operations. And again, just to recap, that's fuel, training, and repairs and maintenance. And we'll wait on that report, the one that would identify how much in training costs is needed for the agency. And so with that, again, we have, if there are any changes or if there's anything that wasn't mentioned today that you would like for the committee to consider, please reach out to any of the members of the committee. In addition to the training costs that you will be providing, feel free to send that to any of the members and we'll include it in our budget deliberations. And so at this time, thank you again, Chief Ogle, Ms. Atalik, and Firefighter Kilgore. Thank you for coming in today. And with that, Chief, you are now excused.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, members, we now move on to the next item on the agenda, miscellaneous. As a reminder, we do have two agencies up for budget hearings on Tuesday, the 31st, on Saipan. Starting at 9 a.m., we have PSS, followed by DPS at 1 p.m. And so I may or may not be available at the 9 a.m. meeting, and so Vice Chair McLaughlin may be stepping in. And so please be reminded of the 7 quorum needed. And so thank you for your cooperation and assistance in that. With that, any other members with announcements or anything they want to bring up? I recognize Rep. Staffler.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to thank you for organizing all of these meetings, and to the people of Rota for hosting us this beautiful last week with your hospitality. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Staffler. And just to add on to that, we just want to express our appreciation to the judiciary for allowing us to utilize the courtroom both on Tinian and on Rota, as well as all the agencies from the 2 districts that came out and presented their budget requests. And so with that, again, thank you to the people of Rota and Tinian for their hospitality and for their assistance with any of the requests that the members had. I know there were several other meetings and public hearings that were held on both islands, and we just want to thank the people for coming out. And so that would wrap up our budget hearings on the 2 senatorial districts. And can I now get a motion to adjourn? Motion was made and seconded. All in favor say aye. All opposed can stay the weekend. This meeting is hereby adjourned at 2:49 p.m.